I've been working magic here.
I am the guy.
I mean, what do we know about Gustavo Fring?
Each week we break down another Breaking Bad episode, in order, and this week it's Season 4, Episode 7.
Problem Dog.
I've got 30 details you might not know. This episode's teaser is just Jesse playing Rage, which was product placement just like the Dodge Challenger in this and the last episode. Rage was released 2 days after this episode aired, and id Software worked with the show to film this gameplay without any of the typical user interface overlays. This game has many Breaking Bad Easter eggs, and one of them appears in the show, Backwards Gale graffiti. The game also has his address spray painted, and you can find Tuco's grill in the sheriff's office in Wellsprings. Los Pollos Hermanos cups are also scattered throughout. And Matt Jones did 4 voices for the game. Yes, the light gun is for dramatic effect, but it's extra funny that it has recoil. Jesse starts to have visions of Gale. They brought David Costabile back for these 3 quick shots, so this is his last scene in Breaking Bad. After the title sequence, we're back to the other product placement.
How's Junior?
Exactly what I expected. Hasn't said a word to me since we told him it was going back. Spent the better part of an hour sweet-talking the manager down to a restocking fee. Make sure you talk to the general manager. His name is Glenn.
Glenn.
I don't know if that was an intentional reference to Glenn from The Walking Dead, but it is funny that he also drove a Challenger that ended up dismantled.
Bueno, Martin. Muy bueno. Walt.
Slick. To get that shot, they dug a hole in the parking lot for the camera to fit in. Dodge knew they were going to do this and had no problem with it. Walt tries to do a Cousins impression, but the timing doesn't work out.
I need a cab. I'm at the Pavilion parking lot on University.
That's really where they're filming this, and it's very close to the studios.
How long do you think that would take? No, I'm sure he'll see me.
They rented 2 Challengers, one used by the stunt driver and one used by Bryan, which was in front of a green screen. But for the one they blew up, they had to buy a brand new car from a dealership, although they did strip it and sell the parts first. A lot of things were filmed out of order in this scene. This shot happened before this earlier overhead shot because these new tracks are already there. And to avoid high winds, the explosion had to be filmed before any donuts, so these later tracks were digitally added.
He was headed for destruction of property, but since it's your own property, I sweated him down to misdemeanor trash burning.
I don't need to hear the blow-by-blow. Just tell me it's done.
I caught this thing before it got into the system. That means your record stays clean, the wife never finds out. I've been working magic here. I could at least get an attaboy. What is it, Fring?
Saul has a mummified hand in his safe, and apparently it has a pinky ring. Nothing ever became of this detail.
You could help me find a third party.
What third party?
Someone who can ameliorate the situation.
Let's ditch the thesaurus, all right? You talking about a hitman?
Assuming that's still what they're called.
Wrong answer. That's what the kids call epic fail. These guys, they know Mike, and Mike knows them.
What are you telling me? Mike knows everyone who does this?
Who do you think gave me their names?
Better Call Saul showed us a different source of those names, although it's reasonable that Mike would be familiar with them.
Whatever Goomba we buy at some point is...
Another film artifact. That's number 15 because Mr. Snortobutt found 3 I missed in the last episode. If you keep discovering these, this counter might surpass the Walta counter.
I tried to solve this myself, but I can't get anywhere near him.
Why don't you ask your partner?
Yeah, I saw him. What happened exactly?
I was at a diner with Mike, and he just shows up.
Did he speak to you?
He said he sees things in people.
What things? What people?
Me.
What kind of game is he playing? Does he think you're that naive?
What kind of game are you playing, Walt? How about everyone just stop using Jesse? Looks like he was on this ladder for a long time.
Drop the sales pitch. I'll do it.
You'll do what?
I'll kill him. First chance I get.
Betsy actually swiped one of the Pina Colada air fresheners and used it in her trailer.
Pina colada, more like stale bubblegum.
They built the car wash set to resemble the real location shown in the pilot, but they wisely did away with the glossy tile, otherwise we'd probably have tons of camera equipment reflections to discuss.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Walt. It's good to see you.
You too.
I'm just gonna count this as 1, but all throughout this scene we keep seeing for motion picture use only very clearly all over the place. And you can see that's not President Grant on the bills. We get a peek of a $100 bill, even though these are supposed to be bundles of 150s.
Jesus, how much is that?
$274,000, give or take.
You make $7,125,000 a year?
7.5 even. before expenses.
I always thought he said after expenses, meaning Jesse was the $7.5 million expense that left him with $7.5. But based on everything he said here, he does have $375,000 of expenses in a year. What are these expenses?
This is too much. There is no car wash in the world that could do this kind of business.
Saul really should have prepared them for this, as it would also apply to owning a single laser tag or nail salon location.
Is this all 50s?
Nope.
Who pays for a car wash with a 50?
I was under the impression that you had this under control. I bring in the money, you launder the money. This is what you wanted.
I never wanted any of this.
Outside of the camera's view, Walt works on a special side project.
You're telling me you made this in the lab?
Why not? Seemed appropriate. This is still the best way.
It's funny to hear him say this after...
This is a ridiculous idea. It's ridiculous.
Although his reaction was about killing Gus, not about the
You
method.
go after him with a gun, you'll never get out of it alive. Keep it with you. When you have the opportunity, be ready.
Vince named the cigarette brand Wilmington because his brother-in-law lives in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wrong way around.
It's my lucky cigarette.
You know they have a drive-thru, right?
Nah, this is good. Use the exercise. Jesus. Ain't we up here?
V8, 470 horses.
Junior's describing the RT variant, which has dual exhaust and an RT badge on the front. But his car had neither of these. It's got a V6 engine.
Spur of the moment, your dad just up and buys you a brand new Challenger?
We were looking at used cars, and I kinda...
You guilted him into it. Yeah, I know. I hear you. You pulled the old, poor little me and my little troubles.
Agent Schrader, it's a pleasure to see you here. Hey, you're looking very well.
Chalk it up to clean living and vitamin pills.
Can I get you anything else?
Sure. Take a Diet Coke. Thank you very much.
Of course.
The focus on the cup is another Chekhov's gun of sorts. The veggie tray tells the observant viewer where they're going, even though they haven't revealed it yet.
The order of the day is eyes open, mouth shut.
While preparing for this episode, they discovered that the chicken coops were being demolished. You can see in this shot that only 3 remain. In the closer shots, they were more strategic with their camera angles and only showed those 3 buildings.
You know how to make coffee? Got tires down the tree.
There's that Walt has cancer sound in the background that they use from time to time. Don't jack around with safety. I can't quite make out the second poster about accidents, and the third one looks pretty morbid.
I don't have an extra holster. You stick this in your pocket, keep it out of sight.
What's the order of the day?
Eyes open, mouth shut.
Jesse's wearing a Steve Aoki shirt. He's a good friend, and after he invited the whole cast and crew to his show, Aaron asked if he could wear the shirt to thank him. The ricin would have worked if Jesse was a little faster.
You want to sweep the place before you bring in your guys?
I am the guy.
I was thinking to myself how this is such a Severance shot, and I wasn't going to mention it, but then Gus said this.
Una ruptura absoluta.
Así es que sí, o es que no.
Difícil modo de comenzar negociación.
Aquí no hay nada que negociar.
You go after him with a gun, you'll never get out of it alive.
He said he sees something in me. Like what?
The rear view mirror is back now that they're actually driving.
If I had to put it in a word, loyalty. Only maybe you got it for the wrong guy.
Jesse?
Hey.
Long time no see.
A lot of the time, all that judging does is just to ensure that we're gonna repeat the cycle.
That's Ben from season 1.
Yes, Ben.
Is this gonna be on the murder?
And this guy's real nickname is Yak. That's his own jacket.
Jesse, what's going on with you these days?
A couple weeks back, I killed a dog. You hit it with your car?
That's a really dark thing for him to ask, considering what happened with his daughter.
No, I put him down. I was looking him straight in the eye. And, he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know why. He was just scared.
He was suffering. It was a kindness.
No, he wasn't sick. He was just like a problem dog.
What'd he do? Bite someone?
No, this dog never bit anybody.
Well, what was the problem? Why'd you have to kill him?
Watch the crosstalk, please. How'd you feel about what you did?
Who cares how you feel? What kind of a person kills a dog for no reason?
Colleen.
You drop him off at his shoulder, you don't
Colleen.
just sit there and talk about killing a helpless, innocent
Colleen.
animal.
We're not here to sit in judgment. Why not? Kicking the hell out of yourself doesn't give meaning to anything.
So no matter what I do, hooray for me because I'm a great guy? I mean, you back your truck over your own kid and you, accept? What a load of crap.
Hey, Jesse, I know you're in pain.
No, you know why I'm here in the first place? is to sell you meth. You're nothing to me but customers.
After Aaron's first run-through of this speech, the extras were so moved they applauded.
I made you my bitch.
You okay with that? You accept?
No. About time.
Jesse, bring a light over here, will you?
It's been a week. What's going on?
I haven't seen him.
Gomi's back after a 10-episode absence.
Those whiskers, Marie. What'd you do? Show your barber a picture of a dog's ass and said, I'll take that.
Steven grew that on his own, causing them to add that line. After Hank got shot, the show dismantled the DEA set on the 9th floor of the Sims building and gave up the lease. It was too difficult to recreate Merkert's office, so they decided to create this conference room in a nearby building instead.
Your progress, it's incredible.
Yeah, well,
Chalk it up to clean living and vitamin pills.
Steve said you might have something for us.
Yeah, maybe. You guys gonna have to tell me. What I think we got here is, Heisenberg's former cook.
Hank's wearing a dead watch.
And maybe a line on Heisenberg himself.
I always love it when someone looks directly at the camera, and this glance from Gomi is extra funny. And hang on, did you see it?
I do a little Google foo.
Leave it to Hank to describe simply Googling something as Google foo. By the way, you can Google this part number and the second result is a page for it. This unofficial website was created by a fan who registered it with what looks like Tuco's domains. It turns out it's pronounced two cows, though.
That there is a high-volume air filtration system. 6 months ago, one of these systems was shipped to a depot right here in ABQ. Who signed for it? Gail Bedecker. They have no record that anybody actually paid for this thing. Now, Madrigal is based in Hanover, Germany, but they're what they called highly diversified. Industrial equipment, global shipping, major construction, and Pollos Hermanos. Now I get this crazy idea. What's a vegan doing in a fried chicken joint? Maybe he's meeting somebody. This guy.
They couldn't get the actors together, so that's photoshopped. Also, if we back up to the first frame, you can see the check is made out to "Don't Meth With Us." That's a real foundation whose slogan is "We Are the Future." And for those of you who thought the 5:05 p.m. on Mike's clock could have been referencing the Albuquerque area code, you may be right, because this check number is also 5:05.
I mean, what do we know about Gustavo Fring, huh? This whole friend of law enforcement thing? Could be a case of keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer.
Hank, no offense, but I think you're really reaching.
Couldn't agree more, guys. Sep, can't seem to wrap my mind around this one little thing. What are Gustavo Fring's fingerprints doing in Gail Bedecker's apartment?
Gomi's watch is also dead. If that Gomi turn toward Merkert looked familiar, it's because he did that move 7 times during this scene. No, this is not going to be an ongoing counter.
Aljon Beast and Hero are 6-month members.
Congratulations for earning your 6-month badges from YouTube. You first appeared as Funyuns in 4 Days Out, and now we're 6 months out. Thanks so much for being here.
So this is like a regular thing?
Say hi to the new members, the Channel 32, Maximal Games, Andrew, WinRAR 64-bit Download, Dude Tower, Agneral CTRs, Nick Matthews, Stellar, The Phantom Rocket, CTV, Nightmare 23H, Natazano, Mad Doc, Seagull Time, Hollow Hype, Raiden Georg, and Jerry's Fat Nuts. And I'm going to try to pronounce Sviend again. Did I get that right? I do still have another emoji slot to use. We already have a good one for Face Off, so I'm interested in something relevant for Season 5. Maybe Lydia or Todd? Next week, we get the first appearance of Don Eladio. But first, an outtake that hits too close to home.
Aaron? Is this a good time for pictures with the actor?
This happens to the best of us. Aaron knows that meth addicts often have obsessive paranoid behavior. For those of you who have watched all the videos in this playlist and are waiting a week for the next one, have you checked out these other 2 playlists on the screen?